So to transfer it on here, you can see these little lines here. You see the little tiny dots? Mm-hmm. I love good quality graphics. I don't necessarily always accomplish it, but most everything I do is custom.
I think it's just this thing within me. I think it's the need to create, and the closest thing that I've figured out to make money or to enjoy is graphic design. It's the thing that I'm best at.
Father and son, old school and new. One common passion for creating. Mike Orr learned the sign business from his dad. Today, Mike's son Clark carries on the Orr tradition in a new way.
My dad was a full-time firefighter, and on his days off, he painted signs, and I helped him a little bit. I started noticing other sign painters and their styles and everything, and I thought, you know, I'd like to try that. So I did, and I just started painting signs back in 1974, and I'm still here.
In the early days before computers, Mike spent most of his time hand painting signs and later cutting out vinyl letters and shapes.
But I drew the line at the digital because for several reasons. So many people are doing that now, and it's very competitive. And if I do need digital graphics, I have sources for them.
One of those sources is his son. Clark Orr is a graphic artist who operates his own design business.
I grew up in my dad's sign shop, so I was just around graphics, you know, from an early age. I fully got into it kind of on my own in high school. I wanted to be involved in the punk community, but I couldn't sing, I couldn't play any instruments, so the next best thing was, well, I could design your album or your t-shirt or your poster. So that was my way into a subculture that I wasn't fully a part of.
He grew up with graphics and knowing a lot of the ins and outs, but then when he got in high school, he did a logo one time that I really caught my eye. I thought, man, that is really clever. That's professional.
The father-son duo works separately most of the time, but they collaborate on a few projects each year.
That's one of the things he taught me at a fairly young age, is figure out what you're passionate about and figure out a way to make a career out of it.
Pretty smile. There you go.
Was there a time in your life where you really struggled with something and your dad was there for you?
Yeah, I think when I graduated college, I think he was honest with me. He said, look, I've tried to do this my entire life, you know, make a good living, and it's hard, you're gonna struggle. So him kind of on the tail end of that, seeing me succeed and being my biggest cheerleader is one of them.
Is that important? Having a dad that's your cheerleader?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Our hearts are connected to our tear ducts.
The real story here isn't really me, I don't think. I think it's Clark. You know, he is really a fantastic graphic designer. I mean, he's nationally known for his design work. I mean, he's done some big work, you know, Nike, Under Armour, NBC, Universal, the Discovery Channel, tons of big jobs and important jobs. I'm just a small sign shop in a small town.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. When he's not busy painting, this 70-year-old sign maker is also the lead singer in a classic rock cover band. It started when the original singer of the band called out sick for Mike's 40th high school class reunion. Instead of canceling, Mike offered to step in. A bold move since he'd never been a lead singer before.
They always bring down the house, they always bring a crowd. It's kind of funny that that's just a side hobby on top of what he already does and all his other passions and stuff. Some people, they'll just pick up a hobby just because it's, you know, something to do. I grew up going to karaoke bars with him, and he loved it then, he loves it now.
Here is my philosophy of sign design, of life in general. And it took me a while to figure this out. Minimize, prioritize, and emphasize. Get rid of what you don't need to say. Figure out what's the most important and the least important. And then emphasize that which is most important. The problem is, in my other facets of my life, I can't seem to accomplish that. But if you need a sign, whenever I do a sign, I don't care if it's no trespassing sign. Everything that I do, I try to use those 3 steps. And you know what? If you can do that, you can make a decent living